G'day, AJMahari here. In this video, I'd like to talk about the myth of, well, you made me do that. You made me feel that. That was your fault. If you hadn't done this, if you didn't say that, if you could have at least given me, if you could have at least told me this, well, why would you treat me that way? Or it's how you treated me, because you know what? You made me do it. You make me feel like shit. You make me feel so like you don't care. You make me feel. You make me feel. So what am I getting at here? Heard that before? If you have a cluster B personality disorder person in your life, or have had, you've probably heard that times a billion. Well, what I'm here in this video to talk a little bit about and to let you know is here's a truism, okay, known in psychology. It's, okay, let's go from the psychological aspect of how it's known, the psychology perspective in which it's known, that you cannot make anyone else feel anything, okay? To the philosophical reality that how and what people feel is based on how they hear things, what they hear, what they don't hear, what they misinterpret. If you say 6 words and they focus on 2, and people that in all kinds of creative ways, I can't name them all, say, you know, well, if only you didn't fill in the blank, then I wouldn't be feeling fill in the blank. Or I wouldn't have had to like yell and scream. I wouldn't have got upset if only you'd have been home from work on time. You just expect me to wait for you all the time. Well, you know what? Yeah, okay, I hear what you're saying about how you feel, but what about me? 'Cause you blank, blank, blank. And I always end up feeling like you don't care. You don't love me. You know, you just make me feel so unimportant. And then you think you're so important. And these kind of, I would say, volcanoes of speech all are heard often from people with cluster B personality disorders, by the way. But what and the you make me feel is more from the person with BPD. And some of the more creative ones, like, you know, oh, I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm trying to think of what would a narcissist say. You know, if only you hadn't done that, we would have had a fine night. Or if only you didn't do this, you wouldn't have ruined that. Or I can't believe you said this because, or said that because that you ruined my whole day. You know, did you notice how other people were looking and like people were thinking whatever about me? So what's a common denominator to all of this? Frankly, irrational, childish, and at the end of the day, even though sometimes feelings are being expressed, sometimes it's emotional blackmail, sometimes you're being taken hostage, sometimes it's toxic blame, toxic guilt that you're getting because you're not guilty or to blame or it's not your fault. Well, the key phrase in all of this is basically, though it's said different ways and creatively, you made me do it and you made me feel it. That's sort of like, you know, in all the different machinations of how people can be creatively saying that, who especially have cluster B personality disorders. Nobody can make anybody feel anything. It's a little bit like the, you know, people thinking they've been victimized. Or, I mean, people have been victimized, yes. But when someone feels like a victim when it's not appropriate, or their victimization is from their childhood and it's being triggered now, You know, this happens to people with BPD and narcissism, narcissistic personality disorder. And what happens with that, I would call it the misplaced victim or the emotionally dysregulated, triggered victim in BPD, or the overcompensating, bored, aggravated, or not wanting to feel empty narcissist. They want you to take responsibility for their feelings, and they want to blame you because they don't understand sometimes that they're responsible for how they feel, in the case of BPD especially. And so what's really important about that isn't to announce to the person, I can't make you feel anything, what are you talking about? But for you to know that all they're going out of, you haven't made them do anything. You haven't made them feel anything. Now, they may not get that, so I wouldn't recommend saying that. But I just think it's a really important message here to give in a video, though one would think it's a pretty well-known one. But when, especially people with borderline personality disorder, especially untreated, and if they're comorbid BPD, NPD, so that there's more feeling than like somebody with NPD, they can't take personal responsibility, don't know who they are, don't know why they're feeling what they're feeling, or in the case of a narcissist, don't know why they're so angry or so bored or so whatever, or just so tired of hearing you talk, even though you've only just said 2 words, right? The point is you're not making them feel bad or however they feel, and you're not responsible for it, and you didn't make them then behave however they chose to behave based on how they were acting. So it's really important to observe and absorb. No, don't observe and absorb. Sorry, something went off on my computer and I said it backwards. It's really important to observe and not absorb and not react to, but you made me do it. You made me say it. You made me think it. You made me feel it. You made me mad. You made me hurt. How dare you leave me like that? Because all those statements are just somebody going, you know, kind of like puking responsibility all over you, if I can be so blunt, right? And that's not your responsibility. So it's really important to just be really clear about that and keep reminding yourself of that. I'm not saying I'm saying something brand new under the sun, but some people may not have realized this yet. And I think some of the most misused words in the English language point to, you know, in various different ways of saying it. You made me do it. I wouldn't have felt this way if you didn't do. If you didn't say blah, I wouldn't feel, ugh. It's all your fault. I wasn't really mad. You made me mad 'cause you said that. Or you made me mad 'cause so-and-so said and you didn't defend me. I mean, there's just endless iterations of this theme called it's your fault, not mine. Don't look at me. For behavior, for words, for feelings, especially with those with borderline personality disorder, but with people in general in life. People generally in life can so quickly and easily say back to you, well, you know, like, but that makes me feel... Whenever you hear these kind of phrases, that's really when it's important for you to just take a deep breath and remember, you want to just observe it. You want to leave it with them because it's theirs. You don't want to take it on. You don't want to accept it. They're shoving it at you and they're determined to say it's yours, but it's not yours. So you don't have to take it. So a really important thing not to do, as well as not react and not buy in and give them more space to explode more of the sort of vomiting responsibility all over you that isn't yours, is to try to rationalize with them or try to explain their responsibility. What's really best to do there, if you can, might be a good time to go for a walk. Might be a good time to go, oh, excuse me, I didn't realize how late it was. I gotta get going. Or if, you live with a person, or it's a different situation, or you're just trapped in a car and this is going on. You're not trapped, but you feel trapped because, you're going from place to place. Then it's just really important to not apologize. So many people will say, well, because they think it's a neutral statement to make, I'm sorry you feel that way. No, it's not. You have nothing to feel sorry for. It's important not to overuse the word sorry. Coming from a Canadian. That's a joke, get it? Because we always, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. But that's more benign, and we're just way too polite. Not always. Just, sometimes we are, but not everybody, and not always. But the point is, don't apologize. Don't say, I'm sorry you feel that way. And so if you think about it for a minute, when somebody's vomiting their responsibility all over you, oh, well, you made me feel it. You made me do it. You made me act like that. I wouldn't have raged if you didn't do this. I would have been fine if you hadn't said that. Probably the best thing to do is just not respond. Or you could go, Or you might even say, really? Or separate to that, well, if you didn't just do this, I wouldn't have felt that, and you guys always leave me out, and I don't know what to do. He'd go, interesting. Like just so what you're looking for are short, one word is great, no apologies, no engaging with this, because it's not logic. It's just them vomiting their lack of personal responsibility all over you. And and the guilt and the blame and all the things they're projecting out. So it's really good to find one word at a time, like or just oh, interesting. Because you want to be sarcastic. You want to be neutral, observing, not reacting, not engaging, not making excuses, not saying, not agreeing, not disagreeing. So I think you know what I'm saying. And it's something to practice and something to think about. Because a lot of people, especially around those with BPD, but you can encounter it anywhere in life. A lot of people encounter this often. And so it's really important to know. To just know for sure, okay, that it's a well-known, explained reality in psychology, okay, in the psychology of human beings, that people think other people make them feel things, but nobody can make anybody feel anything. And I think what I was trying to say about the victim thing before is, sometimes when people, whether they were victimized at some point in their life or not, but they're not being in that moment, but they might be like emotionally dysregulated and reliving it, it's important to not get sucked into the drama of someone collapsing to the victim, or on the carbon drama triangle, going from persecuting you, like, you made me do that, and you made me say, and I can't believe, and then going to victim. I can't believe you did that to me. Now I don't know what to do. I don't know. And what do you, basically, the more neutral, the more calm, the less reactive you are, the better. Nobody makes anybody feel anything or do anything. And when people are reliving victimization, you can't be, as an adult, okay, really effectively in the here and now, victimized. I mean, aside from crime and things like that, okay, but victimized in just speech or sitting with someone at dinner, unless you're a willing participant. In other words, unless it's coming from you. Like, so just remember that. Nobody can make anybody feel anything. Nobody is responsible for anybody else.